We have a lot to talk about. Between the story trailer, Tokyo Game Show and everything in between, there's a lot and we're gonna go through all of it. So whether you're looking to get caught up with all the recent news, or you just want a refresher, we're gonna jump straight into it. Of course we're gonna start with the story trailer, and going in, I did not expect that much. I fully expected it just to be a minute or two of a cutscene, a full cutscene, or maybe a cut up one, just to get an idea of the atmosphere, idea of the animation style, and of course the voice actors. Calling this a story trailer is honestly underselling it, because we got so much more. Yeah, we got a decent chunk of animation, we have the voice actors, a lot of new designs, but we also got overworld segments, we got more gameplay, we got the opening theme song for the game itself. This is a full-on look at the game and every single one of its aspects, and I could not be happier with what we got. Obviously I'm gonna have to start with the animation, because it just looks incredible, but then again, did we expect anything else from Mappa? I think it's very expressive, and especially when we see the characters just doing their thing in combination with the voice actors, I'm completely on board, and I really think that this story can be unlike any other Inazuma 11 story so far. Of course the previous stories were not all that crazy, but I think just from the tension and the drama in this trailer alone, I think we're in for a ride. I especially love the unique dynamic at play here between Unmei and Haru. Of course we know that Unmei is unable to play football, but for Haruendo, he's at the opposite side of the spectrum. Even more so, he straight up thinks football is boring. Mark Evans would be rolling in his grave if he wasn't alive and kicking. We get our first proper look at the Raymon 11 of this game. I think these designs are incredibly solid. They have some sort of original Inazuma 11 touch to them, yet they still feel very modern and don't feel out of place or like they're from a certain era of Inazuma 11. One of the bigger reveals out of this trailer is Ren Tsukikage, who's actually the captain of Raymon. I've seen some people compare it to Mizukamiya, which I can see. I wonder what the connections will be to past characters. You know, will they all be unique players, or will they all have some kind of connection to either Raimon or literally any football player ever? We have some overworld segments as well, and some of those environments look excellent. We do find out later that this footage is from the Switch version, which is a great sign, but I was in awe. I think especially that one, like the tram or the train passing by, I was like, okay, yeah, we're definitely gaming right now. Another big reveal was that T-Pistons will indeed be returning for the opening theme song. The song is called A Smile Is Our Goal and it sounds amazing. 2 days after the fact, T-Pistons uploaded a video on their new YouTube channel, where they announced that all of the Inazuma 11 openings would be released on streaming platforms for the first time. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I'm very happy that I was the first one to jump on this news. I think mostly because people were not expecting much of this video in particular, but I'm very glad I was able to share that with as many people as I did. I was obviously very excited, a lot of people were excited. In any case, my listening history is filled with T-Pistons, and I couldn't be more happy. So with that huge announcement on the Monday, the week was already starting a lot more hectic than I anticipated, but it got more insane because on Wednesday, one day before TGS, Hino decided to upload a video going over the demo that would be available to play at the event. He basically made an instructional video, a video that would actually be played at the event too as you're playing in the booth, as well as just for the people overseas to have an idea of what exactly they have going on there. But we actually got a lot in this guide. We see how the defense zone works, which has you placing castle walls to instruct your defenders where to go and how to block shots. We get our look at the keeper gauge, a whole new mechanic, which basically acts as a HP bar, a boss HP bar as Hino describes it for the keeper. Get a new stat, the breach rate, which is basically the chance of an insta-kill shot, which you can increase with passive skills. That's a lot, and that's the day before TGS. Hino was up till 11 in the office getting this video done. He's insane. If that wasn't enough, he also confirmed that every player will be able to have 6 special moves. Previously we were worried it was only going to be 2, which a lot of people were actually getting used to, but every player will have 3 sets of special moves. Each character starts with one, so 2 moves, and they can unlock the others through manuals or story events. So it's very funny to see how Hino anticipates that feedback. The following day, Tokyo Game Show officially starts, and we end the day with the News 5 presentation, which promises to deliver new updates on the latest game titles. Spoiler alert, it did not bring us any new information. It was more of like a gag show with a lot of banter and bits and some rehash of some of the information, like we get a look at the focus mechanic, but scramble and the tension gauge and in the zone are not addressed at all. Yeah, we definitely had a field day on Twitter, but I can tell you that the events in the weekend more than made up for it. The weekend was pretty stacked with events focusing on pretty much all of the upcoming level 5 games. For Inazuma 11 though, we have the Inazuma Walker on tour at TGS. If you're unfamiliar with Inazuma Walkers, as the name suggests, their presentations focused on Inazuma 11 and reveal information on everything about the series really, from the games to the anime and everything in between. The event starts with Hino introducing himself as the final boss of Inazuma 11 with a straight face, and we get introduced to all of the main voice actors. These are mostly all newcomers, especially Unmei and Haru have really no credits to their name. Hino already said that he was really looking for the perfect fit for the characters and wasn't trying to rely on big names, which makes sense. We have a couple of big announcements here, but the first one is that there will be no limit to recruiting players like in the previous games. That means all 4,500 plus characters will be able to join your team. I think this makes a lot of sense, but it's very nice to have this confirmation either way. And also, let's keep it real, you're not going to be using every single player, right? Afterwards, we finally get some information on the rarity system we've been talking about for such a long time. And first of all, before I even get into any of the details, Hino confirms that this will not be a gacha, which is excellent news. Basically, you're going to be recruiting a player multiple times, and you might be asking, why would I do that? That is how you increase their rarity. So you recruit a player multiple times, you get their spirits, and that's what you use to improve them. This is separate from leveling up and training though, so that is still something you're going to have to do. As you can see, we have all the rarities right here. You start as a normal player all the way to a legendary player, and on top of that you have the hero rarity. As you can see, we have a few different hero rarities. As of right now, I'm not sure whether that means that you'll be working through all of those hero rankings or that each player has one specific kind of hero rarity, but I guess we'll have to find out. We briefly go over team building, which we know is going to be very important in this game. What I noticed though is that Paolo Bianchi's element has been changed to Earth element. It was wood before, and it means that Odin's sword will now be boosted because he is the same element. I mean, that's cool, he's one of my favorite players, so I like that of course. But I do wonder if we're going to see more changes like these, because I'm very open to them. Then we move over to another big announcement, which is the review of difficulty levels for teams. Facing teams at higher levels could get you players with higher rarities. As you can see, we have the Inazuma level, Death Zone, God and Legendary Hero. But what's very important to know is that these levels will also be applied to Chronicle mode and Story mode. This increases replayability by an immense amount. That means that depending on the difficulty level, each team in Chronicle mode, for example, can have at least 4 different versions. We're going to have a lot of teams in Chronicle mode, so just try to imagine how much higher that final number will go. We then get introduced to hero tokens, which are new special items that you can collect while playing the game and exchange for rare items, like equipment for example. We have Grandpa's notes in here, we have rice balls. We then go over the online tournaments mode of the game. We discovered that you're going to need a high win ratio if we want to go through the qualifications, which makes complete sense to me. We learned that every season can have a different theme or different rules. You could have a season themed around the football frontier, or a season themed after Saints Way, which would allow you to use fighting spirits. We also learned that the qualification rounds will be played against CPUs, so the computer, and not against real players. I think there's still a lot they're trying to figure out in terms of this mode. We haven't seen much aside from that one screenshot they keep on showing, but don't forget there's a lot that goes into something like this, with different regions and different time zones just being 1 or 2 things on that huge list. You're probably thinking, well, what about the release date? Did we get anything about that? And hey, I hear you. Hold on tight, we're gonna get there. I want to first talk about the Chronicle stage show, which happened a day later. With the amount of information we got during the Inazuma Walker, there was really no say what would be revealed here. Axel's Japanese voice actor was allowed to play a special demo version of the game, which included story mode. He was able to explore the area a little bit, pick up items here and there, interact with NPCs. Not sure what I think of that big empty field there, but I think the rest of the school looks amazing and the city looks really lively. I think it's very funny that a show called Chronicle Stage Show only got information about the story mode, classic Hino move, but we really didn't get anything else here. The game won a Future Division award, and that was basically it. The big question is, of course, what's up with the release date? I was very surprised to see that we did not get any release dates announced for the other level 5 games, and especially for Victory Road. I've been on record for saying if we're gonna get it, it's going to be Tokyo Game Show. But Hino actually talked about the release date in a blog post that came out at the same time as the story trailer. He starts off by saying that development is going well, and he repeats this during the Inazuma walker too, and that they're even on track to finish up development. He does imply that the delay is still on the table, but more so in the context of not wanting to put out something that will let us down. Most importantly though, apparently the staff's motivation is at an all-time high and they have a clear idea of what's left to do. With that being said, and all of the information we have here, I do think a delay is very likely, but I think that's perfectly fine. We've never been this close to getting our hands on this game, and I have complete faith in level 5 and especially Hino. Darts on Twitter theorized that he's not doing this for the fans, he's doing this for himself, and that's arguably scarier. But I respect this man so much for it. You can just see the amount of passion and dedication he has to this franchise. Again, I have faith in him. We're gonna get this game sooner or later. We can wait a little bit longer at this point. And I don't think it's going to be that much later than, let's say, December 2023. And that's it for Tokyo Game Show. I thought it was a solid event, and you guys on Twitter seem to agree. Despite all of the curveballs, we had a lot of new information. The T-Pistons concerts were absolutely amazing. I loved Hino joining in on Maji de Kansha at the end there, and especially in combination with everything we got during the story trailer, we're in for a good time. As of right now, we have no other planned information drop or trailer or blog post, and I think that's completely fine. Let's take this time to kick back and relax, take in what we already know, and just have some faith in level 5 in Hino. We'll get more information when we get more information. I personally think it's gonna be at least another month or two, and hey, that is fine with me. As we should all know by now, just let them cook, and we're going to be more than okay. That's basically the gist of everything that happened in the last couple of weeks. I'll be linking the most important trailers and videos in the description below, so be sure to check those out. I am incredibly excited for this game. Inazuma 11 is back. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest Inazuma 11 news, be sure to follow me on Twitter. This, for example, happened recently, so if you want to be on top of that, you know where to find me. Let me know what your favorite Tokyo Game Show review was. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.